No More Water in the Tub by Ted Arnold. In a bathroom near the top floor of a tall apartment building, William was ready for his bath. Walter had finished, and fresh water was running into the bath. "Get in, William," said Mom. "Walter, keep an eye on your brother. Leave the faucet on another minute, then no more water in the tub." "Aw, Mom," William said as he climbed in. "I like it deep." "You heard me. 1 minute." She closed the bathroom door as she left. There she is. 1 minute, then no more water. William reached for the tub faucet. "Not yet," William yelled. "I'm turning it on faster," Walter answered, "so you'll get more water in 1 minute. Let's see how fast it'll go." He twisted the cold water handle, and the water gushed into the tub. What if I turned it all the way until it came off? Water blasted out of the fixture. In an instant, the bathroom flooded. The tub broke loose and floated away from the wall. When Mom looked in to see what all the racket was, water burst through the door, taking the tub with it. It's going to turn it on faster, and he ends up breaking it, and all the water comes out. Down the hall, William sailed, leaving Mom and Walter behind. Picking up speed, he passed the kitchen and the living room, heading for the front door. It opened. "I'm home," said Dad. Then, out the door and down the steps went William in his bathtub. There he is, sailing out the door. In the apartment below, Miss Mabel Hattie was serving tea to her bridge club members when she heard a bump at the door. "That must be Betty at last," she said. As Mabel opened the door, she complained, "Why are you always late?" But it was William who answered, "I didn't know you were expecting me." There she is serving tea, and there comes the bathtub with all the water. As a wave of water tipped Mabel backwards, William rowed his bathtub into the room. He circled the card table and followed the rushing water back the way he came. Then out the door and down the steps went William in his bathtub. Out went Mabel on the table. There she is, on her table floating away. One floor down, Sue and Vern Maddie were watering their houseplants when they heard a knock. Expecting pizza to be delivered, Sue quickly answered the door. "You're not our regular pizza boy," she sputtered as William surfed into the room, followed by Mabel. Waves rolled through the apartment, crashed against the back wall, and turned. Then out the door and down the steps went William in his bathtub. Out went Mabel on the table. Sue and Vern clung to a fern. There they are expecting pizza, but getting William in a bathtub instead. Downstairs, Uncle Nash stepped into the hall to take out the garbage. He felt a drop of water and looked up. There was William in a bathtub, plunging down a waterfall where the staircase used to be. "I see your folks are having a plumbing problem," Uncle Nash said as the churning water swept him off his feet. Past the door and down the steps went William in his bathtub. Down went Mabel on the table. Sue and Vern clung to a fern. Uncle Nash sat in the trash. There he is carrying the trash and now floating down the stairs with it. Patty Fuzzle was just about to put her last jigsaw piece into place. She heard a knock and thought her sister Natty was home from babysitting. But when she opened the door, it was William and the upstairs neighbors who spilled into the room. "I have a sinking feeling I'll never finish my puzzle," she cried as the surging tide swirled around her. Then, out the door and down the steps went William in his bathtub. Out went Mabel on the table. Sue and Vern clung to a fern. Uncle Nash sat in the trash. Patty Fuzzle steered her puzzle. There she is on her puzzle, surfing away. While Mr. and Mrs. Hanratty were out, Natty Fuzzle was babysitting little Dotty. They were in the bathroom reading a story when they heard a key in the front door. "That must be your mom and dad," said Natty. Then she heard water roaring down the hall towards the bathroom. William's tub pushed the Hanrattys inside. "We're home," they managed to say. Then out the door and down the steps went William in his bathtub. Out went Mabel on the table. Sue and Vern clung to a fern. Uncle Nash sat in the trash. Patty Fuzzle steered her puzzle, and little Dotty sailed the potty. There she is, sailing her potty amongst all this chaos. Downstairs, the Ferlinghetti string quartet had been practicing all evening. "Mind if I fix a snack?" called Mr. Bellow from the kitchen. "Make yourself at home," answered Mrs. Ferlinghetti. Suddenly, the stove caught fire. Flames spread quickly. "Call the fire department," cried Mr. Bellow. "The building is burning." A fire alarm began to ring, and everyone leaped to their feet. Mr. Bellow reached the door first and threw it open, yelling, "Run for your lives!" There he is. The place is on fire now. "But I just got here," said William. He and the neighbors stormed in on a tidal wave that flooded the burning apartment. Flames hissed. Smoke and steam filled the air. Just as quickly as the fire had started, it was gone, and the water began draining away. Then, out the door and down the steps went William in his bathtub. Out went Mabel on the table. Sue and Vern clung to a fern. Uncle Nash sat in the trash. Patty Fuzzle steered her puzzle. Little Dotty sailed the potty. And Mr. Bellow rode his cello. There he is, rowing his cello. Fire trucks and crowds of people arrived as William clattered down the front steps of the building. The tub ran aground in the street, and William's neighbors washed up behind it. "Good work putting that fire out, son," the fire chief said. "You're a hero." He hung a heavy medal around William's neck, and everyone cheered. There he is getting his medal from the fire chief. Then they all went home, Walter said. The end. "That was a great story, Walter. Tell me another one," begged William. "Okay," said Walter. William forgot all about turning off the water in 1 minute. The bathtub overflowed and quickly flooded the floor. Mom threw open the door and screamed, "No more water!" But she was too late. The tub broke loose and floated away from the wall. Then out the window and down the fire escape went William in his bathtub. There's Walter telling him the story. But then it gets flooded and he goes out the window. The end. See his sailing down the street.